Your second day learning target is focusing on solving one-step equations with either multiplication or division. Again, this is still a 6th grade standard. However, you need to be proficient at being able to do this along with the lesson from yesterday so that you will be able to solve two-step and multi-step equations for the 7th grade standards. Let's take a quick look at what one-step equations look like when they needed to be solved with either multiplication or division. Now again, I'm going to continue drawing my line at the equal sign so that I can separate the left-hand and right-hand sides of the equation. You need to ask yourself, what is this 5 trying to do to my variable? When we talked about expressions, we talked about when there is a number sitting right next to the variable, it means to multiply. This 5 is trying to multiply my variable y, so the opposite of that would be to divide. Remember, your goal is to get your variable to be the only thing that's left over here on the left-hand side. So to get rid of the 5, I'm going to divide by 5. Remember our conversation about the equal sign and keeping both sides equal. I have to divide this side by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So the way that we write 1y is just with my variable. Okay, so this is equal to 1, so I'm going to go ahead and mark those out because this is how I show 1y. And y is equal to 50 divided by 5, and that's 10. Remember your check step, which you're required to show us, is the substitution of what you said your variable is equal to. Remember, we said it's multiplying, so this is 5 times 10 is equal to 50. Some students get this confused and they want to say 510, but remember it's multiplication. I'm going to cover up this side and I'm going to simplify this side. So remember the distributive property, 5 times 10 is 50. 50 is equal to 50, and this is a true statement, so I know that I've got the correct answer for the value of y. The second type of problem needs to be solved with multiplication. In the second example, I'm going to do is x over 10 is equal to negative 50. Now, if you look at this, it should remind you of a fraction. Remember, fractions are only division problems. I'm going to draw my line to separate the two sides, find my variable, and ask myself what's being done to that variable. In this case, it's trying to be divided by 10. So I'm going to ask myself, what is the opposite or inverse operation? So I'm going to multiply this by 10. And remember what I do to this side, I have to do to this side. So I multiply this side by 10. These cancel. And the reason that they cancel is because if I divide something by 10 and then turn around and multiply it by 10, I'm going to be right back where I started. So I would say that this 10 and this 10 cancel one another, and I am left with x is equal to negative 50 times 10. Remember your integer rules. Different sign, so they're negative 500. For the check step, I would take the negative 500 divided by 10. Now I've set it equal to 50 just because the equation is, but I'm needing to cover this up and simplify this. So what is negative 500 divided by 10? Well, I can cancel these zeros. I have negative 50 divided by 1. Negative 50 is equal to negative 50. And that is how I know that I have the correct answer for the value of x, is because the negative 50 and negative 50 is a true statement. Okay, let's take a look at assignment number 2, problem number 1, which is 11x is equal to negative 44. Again, I'm going to draw the line through the equal sign, find my variable, ask myself what is being done to the variable. So the 11 is trying to multiply, so I'm going to divide both sides by 11. Again, remember, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. 11 divided by 11 is 1, so the way we write 1x is simply x is equal to negative 44 divided by 11. Think about your integer rules, different sign, so it's negative. 11 goes into 44 4 times. Number 2, I have x over 7 is equal to negative 20. I'm going to draw my line separating the two sides. This looks like a fraction. Remember, fractions are just division problems. So the opposite of division is going to be multiplication. So I multiply by 7. I come over here and I multiply by 7. These 7's cancel. It leaves you with x is equal to negative 20 times 7. Remember your integer rules. Different sign, so it's negative 140 is my answer there. Number 3, I have 5p is equal to 75. I'm going to draw my line, find my variable, ask myself what is the 5 trying to do to my variable. I know that it's trying to multiply because the 5 is sitting right next to the p. The opposite of multiplication is division, so I got to divide both sides by 5. To keep this equal, I have to do it to both sides. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so the way we write 1p is simply p equals 75 divided by 5 is positive 15. Number 4. Number 4 is 285 is equal to 15n. I'm going to draw my line separating the two sides. Find my variable. Now this one is on the opposite side than what we have seen so far, but it doesn't matter. We're going to do it the same way. The 15 is trying to multiply my variable. I know this because it's sitting right next to the variable n. The inverse operation of multiplication is division, so I divide both sides by 15. 15 divided by 15 is 1, so cancel, put n equals 285, and 15 is 19, so n is equal to 19. Number 5, negative 2 is equal to x over 3. I draw my line. Again, it looks like a fraction, so I know that it is trying to divide. The inverse operation of division is multiply, so I multiply both sides by 3. These cancel, leaves me with x equals 2 times negative 2 times positive 3 is negative 6. Number 6. So we have 10n is equal to 100. I'm going to draw my line. The 10 is trying to multiply your n, so I am going to divide by 10 on both sides. 10 divided by 10 is 1, so we have n equals 10. Number 7, we have negative 5p is equal to negative 95. I'm going to draw my line. Now the negative 5 is trying to multiply by p, so the inverse operation is to divide by negative 5 on both sides. Negative 5 divided by negative 5 is positive 1. And negative 95 divided by negative 5 is equal to positive 19. Number 8, x divided by 3 is equal to negative 6. I'm going to draw my line. The 3 is trying to divide, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. The 3's cancel here. Leaves me with x equals negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. Number 9 is negative 15 is equal to v over 20. Draw my line. The 20 is trying to divide, so I am going to multiply both sides by 20. The 20's cancel, leaving you with v equals negative 300. Is negative 7 is equal to m divided by 13. I'm going to draw my line, find my variable. I see that the m is trying to be divided by 13. I know this because it looks like a fraction, and remember, all fractions are just division problems. So the inverse of division is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 13. These cancel. M is equal to negative 91. Number 11. Number 11 is v divided by 14 is equal to 16. I'm going to draw my line. The 14 is trying to divide, so I'm going to multiply by 14 to both sides. These cancel. Leaves v on this side is equal to 224. Number 12 is negative 152 is equal to 8n. I'm going to draw my line separating the two sides. Find my variable. The 8's trying to multiply it. I know that because it's sitting right next to the n without any type of sign separating them. I'm going to divide both sides by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1, so it leaves me with n equals negative 19. Number 13 is 15 is equal to n divided by 8. I'm going to draw my line. The 8's trying to divide, so I'll multiply this side by 8. Remember what I do to one side, I gotta do to the other. These 8's cancel. It leaves me with n on the right hand side is equal to 8 times 15, which is 120. Number 14 is negative 14 is equal to 14m. The 14 is trying to divide or trying to multiply the m. So I'm going to divide both sides by 14. 14 divided by 14 is 1. So the way we write 1m is simply m is equal to negative 14 divided by 14 is negative 1. Number 15 is 14 is equal to n over 5. I draw my line. The 5 is trying to divide, so I multiply this by 5. and multiply this side by 5. These cancel, leaves me n is equal to 5 times 14, which is 70. Number 16 is 12 equals m divided by 8. I'll draw my line. The 8's trying to divide, so I multiply both sides by 8. The 8's cancel. It leaves me m is equal to 8 times 12 is 96. Number 17 is negative 20p is equal to negative 140. Draw my line. The negative 20 is trying to multiply, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 20. Negative 20 divided by negative 20 is 1. So p is equal to positive 7. Number 18 is 39 is equal to negative 3x. Draw my line. The negative 3x is trying to multiply, so I'm going to divide by negative 3 on both sides. Negatives 3 cancel, leaves me x is equal to 13, and that would be negative. Number 19 is 9b is equal to negative 54. Draw my line to separate the two sides. The 9 is trying to multiply, so I'm going to divide by 9 on both sides. 9 divided by 9 is 1, so b is equal to negative 6. 20 is 168 is equal to negative 14m. Let's separate the two sides by drawing a line. The negative 14 is trying to multiply, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 14. Negative 14 divided by negative 14 is 1. Leaves me with m equals be negative 12. Okay? Something that I have not done that you are required to do is to show us your check step. Remember, to show us your check step, you simply take your solution and substitute it into the original equation. So I'm going to do two examples like that with you. On problem number 1, we had 11x is equal to negative 44. Now we solved it and we had x is equal to negative 4. So I'm going to take the negative 4, substitute that in for x. So I have 11 and I'm going to put a 4. But remember, this isn't a 114. It is 11 times 4 is equal to negative 44. Okay? Now I'm going to cover this side up and I'm going to simplify the left-hand side. 11 times negative 4 is negative 44, and that is equal to the right-hand side. That's how I know that our answer is correct. Problem number 2 is x divided by 7 is equal to negative 20. And we got a solution of x is equal to negative 140. So again, I'm going to take the solution we got, substitute it in for x. So I have negative 140 divided by 7 is equal to negative 20. Now I'm going to cover up this equal to negative 20 and simplify this. Negative 140 divided by 7 is negative 120, and that is equal to what the equation has. That's how I know that we have the correct solution. Guys, I hope you have a good day. What I forgot to mention was your learning target reflection. So once you're completed with this lesson, please go to this paper, or if you're writing it on your own paper, that's fine, and reflect what did you learn or what did you notice about the problems that you've done today, in addition to creating a problem of your own or equation of your own and solving it.